I mean, I don't think we have like a specific rival.
So today is the last day of week 3 of the LEC Spring Split group stage, and I am in the presence of Wunder, unfortunately after a loss against Giant X. How are you feeling today, Wunder?
Yeah, I mean, I mean today specifically we were stuck in traffic for a long time, and yeah, I mean the gameplay we showed on stage was not very good either. And yeah, I mean just all in all, like not the greatest day, but I mean we locked top four before today, I believe. I mean I think I might be wrong, but I think we're top four for sure, and that's at least better than last split. We went 2-1, I think every single week now, so I guess we are like consistent in that way that we are not going 3-0, but we are going 2-1. So as long as that streak keeps going for BO3s, we will 2-1 our BO3, and hopefully that's, I mean, that will be enough to take the win. So I mean, yeah, I'm happy with that fact, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, still obviously you are ending the split in 6-3, which is much better than the 4-5 of the winter split. And I mean, even if today was a bit rough, and I mean, Giant X has been looking pretty good recently. I guess they kind of had an upswing in the end of the split. But you guys got a 4-win streak just before this match, beating the likes of BDS, Mad Lions Core, and K Corp, and also SK. Some wins that were pretty important, I guess, because especially SK and BDS beat you in the playoffs last split, so maybe it was a bit of a revenge there. Are you still happy overall with the recent performances of the team, aside from today?
Yeah, I mean, results-wise and performance-wise, I think we have gotten better for sure since last split. Um, there is obviously a lot of, not worry, but a lot of like us being like unsure about how we would perform given like the changes that was made to the roster. And despite all of that, I think we have gotten with the limited practice that we had before the split started. I think we have gotten like a lot out of it so far. And yeah, I mean, I think we are. I mean, hopefully we are only gonna get better, and hopefully we're gonna get better faster than the other teams. So um, yeah, I mean, our goal is to of course like go to MSI, and right now you need to, well, you don't need to beat G2, but you need to be up there at least in the finals with them to have a chance to make it. So that's our goal for this split and for the future. I mean, we are confident that we can stay. I mean, in the standings right now, we are a top four team, and we are confident that we can get better.
And I talked to your coach, Peter Dunn, last week, and he told me that basically the spring split for you guys was a bit of a waiting game because, as you said as well, you guys had very little practice going ahead into this split. And pretty much every game that you can get is good experience for you guys and more time to practice as well. Are you surprised that you guys ended up playing so well from the start? And what do you think is the ceiling for this team?
I mean, I think it's not always the truth. It doesn't always have to be true that even if you have like a little amount of practice, that you have to be like that you are always gonna get like a lot better, or you are always gonna be like a lot worse with low practice, right? I think uh, we were already getting better from winter into spring, and with the changes that we made, I mean, hopefully it was gonna get even better, right? I mean, those changes were made like for whatever reasons, but for whatever reasons they were made was hopefully to make us a better team. And so far we have seen progress, and yeah, I'm happy with that, right? And I think despite us having 1 week of practice, not much maybe would have changed if we had 2 weeks, but I'm happy. I mean, at least it can't get much worse unless we get really tilted at each other or anything like this. So, which I don't believe will happen. So I think we are in the clear at least that this is at least the floor that we have right now, and the ceiling. I mean, we are like a lot of, I guess, veterans and a lot of people, with the exception of Spyro, who I mean has played for a long time and maybe in the ERL, but not in LEC, right? So we know kind of what's going on, and I think, yeah, I mean, the ceiling for us can be, I guess, where we have been in the past, because that's how we have proven it to be, at least individually. So I think it could be quite high up.
That aside, I watched the EU4 podcast and I saw that you were quite confident on there, even calling out teams like Malines Koi and VDS being a bit overrated, maybe. Now that you are secured into playoffs, and especially after beating Fnatic this split, which was your old team and also quite a very well-performing team right now in the league overall, who do you think would be like your main rival for the playoffs? Is there like any teams you want to rematch against?
I mean, I don't think we have like a specific rival. I mean, sure, I did say that. I think. I mean, I don't even know if I said Mad was already. I think they were, of course, like good enough to make like the final and all that. But I think they have like a very, they have like a way of playing that it's like not always gonna work, and we can see that how they are like very inconsistent and they're dropping a lot of games, and like the momentum has gotten the better of them. But I don't think we have like a specific rival. I mean, we did lose to BDS and SK, and you're right, as we did beat them in the regular split right now. And of course, it feels good to kind of see your progress in a way that you are beating a team that you lost to 2 weeks ago or a month ago or something like this. So progress like that feels good. I think our rival in the end will have to be a team like G2 or Fnatic, basically the best teams, because if you don't want to match up and compare to them, you're not really going to make it far in the league. So that would be, I guess, our final destination.
One other thing I'd quickly like to touch upon is the rise of new picks like Rek'sai as well, which you decided to blind pick even today. In retrospective, maybe that wasn't the best into Jace. Obviously, I mean, you got counterpicked. What do you think about this champion overall? Do you think that it's actually that strong that you can like pick it into any comps, or yeah, pretty much just what are your thoughts on that champion overall?
I mean, I think it has cases. I mean, just like it's basically, I mean, it's just a tanky champ. So if enemy team has like a low damage comp, it can be really oppressive, and it has generally a pretty strong lane against everything. I mean, as you said, I mean, I blind picked it today, right? He picked Jace, and he was in a losing position in the lane until the top lane shenanigans gone wrong, right?
Yeah, the 2v2 incident.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I mean, I was like a slightly up in CS with TP advantage, and if we had just chunked him on the gank top, and I had TP'd back, he would have been like completely lost in the matchup, right? It is true though that I mean, there's like ways you can play against the champ, and of course, it's not completely figured out yet. I mean, people are just like starting to pick it up, and if you just like any tank kind of go out of lane and you're kind of losing in the game, then it's not going to look very useful because you're just a tank and you don't have much damage and you're just basically there to take damage. And you can be oppressive and stuff, right? But if there are like one item on that carries up on your team, then you're basically just gonna like die and look useless, right? Which is kind of what happened today. Uh, so yeah, I mean, of course the champ there's like potential in the champ, but there's also ways to look at it and be useless, right?
Another question I have for you is regarding your team history because you've been at the very top of EU, obviously, with G2. You even won MSI for the first time ever for the region. And after that, you moved on to Fnatic for a year, with whom you got a bit of mixed results, let's say, even if you still made it to Worlds. And then in 2023, you had mostly a break year, except for Winter Split. How have you kept yourself motivated throughout the years, especially after, I guess, falling down a bit from this high of being with G2? And have you ever considered even like retiring and stuff, especially during this break last year?
I think motivation it always changes kind of on your performance, right? Because back in like 2019, after winning MSI, going finals and world stuff like that, of course motivation is very much. I mean, when you went back then, the regular split was a 9-week split, and of course it's hard to find motivation to play against a team like, let's say, SK back then in a week 4 of the regular split. Um, so back then the motivation was much more about, I mean, coming back to the international events and like actually winning and like being a good player. And of course that has like you have to maintain your skill level even within in your own region and all that stuff to make that happen, right? Like you don't want to like fall off or slack. But for sure, like much more of the effort and energy was put into those parts of the years where you were actually like where it actually mattered. Um, and as compared to now, where I haven't had as much success in my recent years, of course, we are looking to win in Europe. we are gonna look to win in Europe and like get back on the top, right? And uh, all of that, I mean, requires effort to be put into the places where it's being put in right now, which is yeah the regular split. Like we don't first step is just like day by day basis. You don't wanna end bottom two because that ends your split run. So first first step completed, and now it's just to put like a lot of effort into each opponent that we are gonna meet every week in playoffs. And yeah, I mean, if we're good enough, that's gonna take us all the way to the end, which is the international events. And for the retirement part, I mean, I think if I'm not good enough and if I don't have offers that I feel like I can make work, that's maybe the way I will go. Maybe I will do something else. I haven't thought about it like too much yet. Like maybe I'll roll swap. Maybe I'll become a coach, like something like this. Maybe I'll start streaming, even though that's like probably really like the 0.1% likeliness. You never know what. Yeah, I mean that maybe that's like also a chance, right? There's a chance for everything to happen, but as of right now, that's not really in my head. Maybe if I'm too washed, then I will consider it.
And we have to wrap up, but just a last question for you. Is there a secret agenda in Heretics to replace all the players with Polish players? And do you need help with this organization, or is it okay still?
I'm not sure. I think I mean it's true that we have 3 Polish players right now, and I'm honestly not even sure who if there's like a really good Polish top laner right now out there. Drew Tooth, I mean, yeah, maybe as like a content creator, he can be put on like the Polish All-Star team, or maybe they will integrate him really well and they will just start speaking Polish. No, but you never really know. I mean, I don't think there's anything like that. I think for Spyro, he was just our academy mid laner, and that just ended up happening. And of course, Trimby is like a really good player, right? And he also happens to be Polish, so I think we are just assembling the Polish players, I guess, by accident, but or maybe not. You know, it's not me. You have to ask about this. You have to ask some higher ups and heretics.
Fair enough. Well, thank you very much for your time today, Wonder. In any case, I hope that you have a great time in the playoffs, and hopefully we'll get to talk again soon.
Thank you very much.